The wind that night, I swear, it sounded like something alive, like the whole city was screaming out for someone to listen. You know what I mean? I was pressed up against the side of St. Mary's Hospital, trying to keep Chloe tucked inside my coat, my baby Tyler in the other arm, both of them shivering so hard I thought their bones might rattle right out of their skin. We'd been out there for hours, snow piling up around our feet, each blast of cold slicing through us like it had a vendetta. I could feel Tyler growing heavier in my arms, like sleep was pulling him away, and I kept shaking him, begging him to stay awake because out here, falling asleep could mean you never wake up. All I wanted was to get inside, just for a little warmth, a little mercy. But the answer was always the same. No insurance, no entry. Not personal, they said, like turning away a freezing mother with 2 kids was just another line in some manual. The world didn't stop spinning for our pain. We were invisible, just obstacles for security to shuffle away. There were moments I thought about screaming, about throwing myself at the doors, but my legs were weak and my voice felt small, swallowed up by the storm and the hopelessness pressing in on all sides. And then Chloe, bright, curious girl who usually asked a million questions a minute, looked up at me with eyes flat as old glass and whispered, "Mommy, are we going to die?" I told her no. I lied and said I had a plan, because what else can a mother do? But even as I said it, my body was betraying me, every limb heavy, every thought thick. I'd always been the one to find a way to hustle 3 jobs, to eat cold ramen so my kids could have hot lunch at school. But that night, it felt like maybe the world had finally beaten me for good. The snow kept coming, the city turned quiet and mean, and even the hospital seemed to pulse with life. We weren't allowed to touch families drifting through the warm glow of the lobby, their laughter a punch to the gut, and us stuck on the outside, the cold slowly taking everything. I wanted to believe in miracles, but my prayers felt thin, slipping into the night like steam. "Help us," I whispered, not sure who I was talking to anymore. That's when fate, or luck, or maybe just plain old stubborn human decency finally cracked the door. A man, Gabriel, saw us. Not just glanced, but saw us, huddled in the dark. He ran toward us, his coat flapping behind him, not hesitating, not caring about ruined shoes or hospital rules. He wrapped us in his warmth and called for help like it was the most natural thing in the world, like we were worth saving. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll handle the costs." For a second, I didn't trust it. I've been burned too many times, used to people wanting something in return. But all Gabriel wanted was for us to be okay. We got rushed inside blankets, lights, doctors everywhere, people speaking in urgent voices. The feeling in my fingers came back, pain prickling up my arms. Chloe asked Gabriel if he was an angel, and he just smiled, said no, just someone who wanted to help. It was the first time in a long time I felt like maybe I wasn't alone in the fight. They saved us that night. No other word for it. Hours later, when the fog finally cleared and I was sitting up in a real hospital bed, I tried to thank Gabriel, to figure out what kind of person risks so much for strangers. He told me about his own pain, how he'd lost his wife because the system failed her too. It hit me hard that hurt recognizes hurt, and maybe sometimes the only way through is together. I was wary, of course. Gabriel offered us a place to stay, a whole guest house, food, clothes, safety. I didn't want charity. I told him I'd work for it, pay it back, prove I was more than just a broken story waiting for rescue. But he never looked at me with pity. He saw me as someone who could help, who could rebuild, not just survive. He offered me a job, too, not just any job, but the chance to run his foundation's family services. "You know what it's like," he said. "We need that." I hesitated. Was it real? Or was I just someone's good deed for the day? But he was clear. Real job, real pay, real expectations. "If it doesn't work, you walk," he promised. I laid down my term's probation period, my own apartment, a seat at the table for every decision, and he just nodded. Deal. That's when I knew he meant it. Life shifted fast. I was making a difference, helping other families who'd fallen through the cracks, seeing hope where before there was only grind. Chloe got her own room. Tyler started to gain weight, and for the first time, I saw them both laugh without fear holding them back. Mrs. Chin, Gabriel's housekeeper, became family. She taught Chloe how to plant tomatoes, how to make dumplings. These small rituals became our glue, a sign we'd made it through the storm. But just when I thought we'd finally outrun the past, it came crawling back. Me ex, Derek, showed up. Out of nowhere, stinking of trouble, eyes darting with that old hunger. Claimed he wanted to be a father again, but what he really wanted was a piece of the life we'd built without him. Tried to use the courts, tried to twist my trust in Gabriel into something ugly. Those weeks were hell. I barely slept, watching over my shoulder, feeling the old fear gnawing at my insides. Gabriel never wavered. He hired the best lawyers, stood by me, told me I was family now no matter what happened. He even suggested marriage not out of convenience, but because he was tired of waiting, tired of pretending his heart didn't already belong to all three of us. I want to wake up next to you every day, he said. I want to be their dad. I believed him, finally. Said yes, not for safety, but for love, for everything we could build together. The custody battle was ugly. Derek lied, played the part of the repentant father, tried to paint me as unstable, as unfit. But the truth won out. Our lawyers shredded his story, our friends and coworkers testified to the family we'd made, and in the end, the judge saw right through him. Full custody to me, a restraining order for him. The relief, when it finally hit, felt like stepping into sunlight after years of shadow. We got married that fall, in Gabriel's garden, surrounded by people who'd become family. Chloe was the flower girl. Tyler tried to eat the rings, misses. Chin cried happy tears. Gabriel's vows were simple: love, honesty, home. Mine were the same. After everything, all the pain and struggle, it came down to this: we were safe, we were together, we were finally home. The story doesn't end there, though. It never does. We bought a house in Evanston, turned a foundation into a model for family support across the city, maybe even the country. Chloe's thriving at school. Tyler's the life of every room. I get up every day and know what I do matters. Gabriel's not just my husband, he's my partner, my co-conspirator in this wild project called life. But you know, the past never disappears entirely. Every time I see snow falling outside my window, I remember that night. The terror, the cold, the feeling of being absolutely alone. And I remember the moment someone reached out and pulled us back from the edge. It makes me believe, really believe, that a single act of kindness can change the shape of a life. Maybe more than one. So here's what I want to know from you. Listening, have you ever been that person or met someone who was? Did you get pulled back from the edge by a stranger's hand? Or maybe you were the one doing the pulling? Because the thing about stories like mine is they don't just belong to me. They're all of ours, scattered across hospital parking lots and city streets, waiting for someone to see, to believe, to step in. Let's talk about it. Tell me, does justice look like to you when the system fails? What has helped cross over from pity to partnership? How do we make sure that nobody gets left outside in the cold? Not ever again. I'd love to hear your story. Maybe it'll inspire the next chapter for me, for you, or for someone we haven't even met yet.
Xin chào các bạn, mình là Trinh, mình phụ trách viết content. Trên đây là những công việc của mình là mình
Vamos supor, você falou negócio sério.
It is cold, yeah.
Next one?
Alright.
Thank you, man. Hey, if you guys have any trouble, let somebody know. Please.
After the tree to hold on to.
Yeah, they're